Ryan Rourke. My name is Jovan Cruz. How you doing?
Hi. How you doing?
I just want to ask you like 3 to 5 questions.
Sure.
That's fine.
Yeah, fire away.
Number 1, would you support rehabbing / expanding / better utilizing our existing homes and storefronts? Yes or no?
Oh, absolutely. We have a lot of opportunity, especially here in the downtown district, with a ton of empty storefronts. Whether you're reusing them, hopefully to bring in new businesses, or for services. I think an empty storefront, it doesn't send a good signal to the community. You know, even just walking around here, the old courthouse, it's boarded up, and there's, you know, essentially a homeless camp on the old courthouse steps. So utilize what we have as an existing structure, whether you're turning it into a homeless shelter, getting people off the streets. I think that we have plenty of space to do that in downtown and around the downtown as well.
I agree. Number 2, is our main street / downtown healthy and successful? Yes or no? If not, what would you do to change that?
Is it healthy and successful? I think it's getting there. You know, if you want to, you know, I'd say if it was you went for a physical, you'd say, well, you're doing all right, but, you know, let's have a few more fruits and vegetables and lose a few pounds or whatnot. So I think we're on the upswing. There are a lot of existing businesses that are doing great, and I know that there's a lot of new ones coming in. And I think that just waiting for it to happen isn't enough. I think that if we go out there and really advocate to really make downtown a little more clean, safe, inviting, more welcoming, more private public partnerships, I think that we could bring that up to an A, so that if we left the doctor's office, the doctor's gonna high five us.
For sure. Number 3, would you vote in support of a motion / allocating from a city budget for incarcerated people who are being released back into society, like reentry work?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, because I would support that. I know that, you know, I've known UTEC for a long time. I know it's a core mission, and I think, you know, taking people from a situation where it's not ideal and just throwing them back out there, they're going to end up back there. Recidivism, they're going to be there. If you don't, you know, I tell people all the time that follow-up is something that a lot of, whether it's government or private industry, follow-up is not something that a lot of people are really good at. And I think that UTEC in particular is a good follow-up or follow-through organization, where instead of just saying, well, you did your jail time, you're rehabbed, have a good life, you guys are part of, like, hey, no, come, let's see what we can do to really do that. And there's a lot of, you know, whether it's job openings or the economy, if you can take that person who's obviously had a rough patch, you know, have not, you know, whether it's, you know, bad choices or whatever that got them to the point that they are, let's get them back and not just be okay, really thrive. So yeah, I would definitely support that.
I respect that. Number 4, as UTEC, we value equality. We as organizers try to decrease racism and violence in the streets. How would you vote on a motion that says racism is a public health issue?
Yeah, I definitely think racism meets the definition of a public health crisis. I even said in the past, it goes so far as it meets the definition of a natural disaster. It really is something that affects more than just, you know, interactions with people on a day-to-day basis. It's a big determinant in health, the economy, things of that nature. So that being said, you know, a lot of people were kind of equating racism, a public health crisis, with racism, like Lowell being a racist city. You know, inherently, I think we are a pretty good melting pot of a city. That doesn't mean that we're perfect. You know, I tell people all the time, I've only been one person in this life, so I can tell you my experience. Your experience is different. You're gonna think something differently. So if we don't have empathy and we don't listen to each other, we're not gonna get to try and solve that issue, as opposed to just labeling it. So yeah, definitely a health crisis, but I think we could work towards a solution too.
Yeah. And number 5, do you support having our own version of the Karyola? Yes or no? And if you don't know the definition of that, it's a series of laws that make it a crime for a law enforcement officer to fail to intervene when another officer is using excessive force, and also protects whistleblowers.
Yeah, I've definitely, obviously the George Floyd case made that a more national issue, and I think that we're all humans. So regardless of your position, whether you're a police officer, firefighter, whatever, if you see something that's wrong, you need to say something. And I know that, you know, in law enforcement, that's obviously tougher because you have protocols and whatnot, but killing an unarmed suspect that's in custody is not a protocol for any law enforcement officer. So if you see that happening, it is incumbent upon those folks. So there's a reason why it's not just one person on trial there, it's the whole lot of them, because just sitting by idly to see something not happening, that apathy, it's just as bad in a lot of ways. So I would support any kind of notion that, you know, you are supposed to intervene when things of that nature. What was the second part of the question?
Let's see. Do you support having our own version of the Karyola? Yes or no?
Yeah.
I was just explaining what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that, you know, having, again, you really have to not just let things happen, you know, and I get it that trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, it can be tough. You know, if that's your superior officer doing something and you're a rookie cop, for you to intervene, it's not easy, I'm sure. But at some point you have to be empowered to do that. Like you said, a whistleblower, that's what you mentioned, you know. They have all these laws for whistleblowers in white-collar crimes in the financial industry. You know, if you see something bad happening, you're allowed to say something about it without recourse from your company or from the law. So that would be something that, you know, if you're going to be able to stop that and prevent the next George Floyd, you shouldn't have any repercussions, you know, taken like, well, you disobeyed a, you know, direct officer. If you're doing something to intervene for the good of someone like that, then I think you shouldn't be punished for it.
I respect those answers.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And
Awesome.
with that,
Great, guys.
this is Jovan Cruz from the organizing crew, and this is my guest, Ryan Rourke.
Thanks, guys.